Hello, students. In Self Development and Art Appreciation, we shall study Chapter 4 Social Leadership The Power of One. The aims and objectives of this lesson is as follows. You will be able to explain the importance of creating social change and different ways of creating a change in your own words. You will be able to develop the confidence to take steps towards creating a social change. You will also be able to initiate a lifestyle change as the first step towards making a social change. And finally, you will be able to identify a social problem, design solutions, develop and implement a plan for intervention. That is, you will be able to implement a change or improvement. What is the meaning of social leadership? Social leadership means to devote one's life and talents to improve society regardless of social standing, wealth, or privilege. It is a type of authority granted to us by the community. Social leaders serve and bless others. They create beauty in the world, lift the vision of mankind, broaden our possibilities, and deepen our life experience. They protect freedom, preserve peace, and ensure prosperity for as many people as possible. To learn about the social web, let us begin with the following activity, which requires the participation of 10 students. 10 chits are prepared bearing one word from a list of 10 words, namely man, rivers, air, birds, pollution, plastic, animals, water, trees, and soil. The students are made to stand in a circle and the chits are distributed among them. The first student in the circle is given a bundle of thread. He or she has to pass the thread to anybody else in the circle and ask what is written on the other student's chit. The first student should then say how the word on their chits are connected. For example, the first word is birds and the second word is trees. The sentence that can be formed or constructed is birds make nests on trees. Or if the first word is pollution and the second word is rivers, the sentence that can be formed is pollution harms the rivers. The second student should then hold the thread tightly in his or her hand and pass the bundle to somebody else and talk about how the names on their chits are related to each other. The same activity is repeated till all the 10 students are covered at least once. This will create a web. See the following picture below for reference. Tap at different places on the web. Observe what happens. Points to ponder. When you tap anywhere on the web, everybody feels the vibration. This shows that everything in the environment is connected to one another. Any change in one element will have an impact on the others. Similarly, all human beings are also interdependent, that is, dependent on each other. Example, people in the cities depend on people in the villages for cultivating food crops. Raw material required for many urban industries comes from mines in rural areas. Thus, problems of people in rural parts can create problems for people in urban parts and vice versa. In the further study of interdependence, let us observe the following examples. Will this affect you? How? The first example is increased use of vehicles leads to global warming. Will it affect you? The second, Inefficient disposal of plastic leads to plastic accumulation in the soil, which makes it infertile. Will it affect you? Third, scarcity of resources in some parts of the country leads the people there to give up farming and migrate to towns and cities in search of jobs. Will it affect you? And the fourth example, sometimes there is a delay in developing infrastructure and bad quality of important public projects like bridges, dams, schools, etc. are built. Will it affect you? All these social issues related to the environment are a matter of serious concern and will affect each and every individual. Points to ponder. Any social problem in one part of the world can trigger a chain of interrelated problems which could affect all of us. Thus, the social problems around us cannot be simply dismissed as somebody else's problems. Sooner or later, they are bound to become our problems too. Thus, it is time for us to take some action. Even one person can make a change. Different ways of bringing in social change. There are many ways in which an individual can contribute to social change. There are a few examples given below. Find information about people or organizations doing similar work in your neighborhood. Subdivision A, Community Service, providing essential services which are found to be lacking in the society is a way of bringing in social change. Example, Baba Amte is known for the selfless service he provided to patients suffering from leprosy who were treated as outcasts at that time. Subdivision B, creating infrastructure. Implementing projects to offer long-term solutions to problems is another way of bringing social change. Example, Dr. Rajendra Singh has been instrumental in building close to 4,500 small dams called Johads through people's participation in Rajasthan. His work has had a great impact in raising groundwater levels. Subdivision C, Research, developing new solutions for eradicating social problems through research is a very effective way of bringing in social change. Example, Dr. Abbe and Dr. Rani Bang have been instrumental in reducing child death among children who developed pneumonia in Gadracholi district. It was because of their research and efforts that the death rate amongst infants due to pneumonia was brought down. Subdivision D, Activism, creating awareness about the rights, responsibilities, and needs of a community and uniting the community to fight for their rights can also bring in social change. Here are a few more examples of all the four ways to bring social change. Examples of community service: volunteering at an orphanage, enrolling out of school children in schools, that is, school dropouts, providing medical care to remote rural areas, donating books for libraries in schools. Examples of creating infrastructure: building roads, setting up solar powered lights, building toilets, and waste management. Examples of research: developing better tools for agriculture, developing new medicines or vaccines, studying the causes of social problems, research for use of technologies in education. Examples of activism: bringing people together to eradicate forbidding rituals, bringing people together to fight water and air pollution, creating a movement for water conservation, and awareness for obeying traffic rules. Can you think of other examples for each of these modes of making change? Make a list of organizations and people in your area who are trying to bring about change. Complete the table with your own examples in your notebook. Let us now study the power of one. Following are a few examples of how ordinary people have been able to transform the world around them with a strong willpower and relentless hard work. Malala Yousafzai is the youngest Nobel laureate. She was just 15 when she dared to challenge the Taliban ban against girls going to school in the northwest region of Pakistan. She has been tirelessly working for women's education and empowerment. You can research on any other person who has worked hard to bring about social change. Write a small note on the person's work in your notebook. Gailor is a small village in Bihar. The path from the village to the nearest town was blocked by a rocky hill. The villagers had to walk 50 kilometers to reach the town. Dashrath Manji, a native of the same village, bought a hammer and a chisel and started cutting the rocks of the hill. Everyone laughed at him, ridiculed him, and told him it was not possible. He refused to be demotivated. It took him 22 years to cut a road through the hill, but he did it. Bindeshwar Pathak is a social reformer working in the field of sanitation and waste management. He established Sulabh International, a social service organization. Earlier, a lot of people, especially women, faced great difficulty due to the unavailability of public toilets. Sulabh has been building toilets at public places like bus stands, parks, etc. Bindeshwar Pathak has been awarded the Padma Bhushan by the Government of India.